Welcome to Shadowproof. Evidence first, noise last.
I'm sure many people have noticed in recent years that our world seems to be getting stranger, especially in terms of climate. It's either news about somewhere experiencing a once-in-a-year drought, or news about somewhere having rare heavy rainstorms. Not only that, some places even have giant hailstorms, making people wonder what's happening to our Earth. However, just as people are gradually realizing the Earth seems to be changing, NASA released data showing that since 1980, global temperatures have been rising in a straight line at an extremely fast rate. The redder areas on the map represent faster temperatures, so we can see that the warming rate in the Arctic is the highest in the world. UN experts have urgently called on countries to abide by the Paris Agreement and strive to control temperature rise within 1.5 degrees. Otherwise, by 2050, 1.6 billion people worldwide will have to endure temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius for up to 3 months each year. Undoubtedly, after this data was released, many people felt anxious. However, surprisingly, all of this seems to have been predicted by the Simpson family long ago. Holidays of future past. It revealed all the Christmas holiday photos that the Simpson family would experience in the future. In the photos, we can see Homer's grown children, and even scenes of Lisa getting married and having children. And among these series of future photos, someone noticed a very unusual picture. It shows Homer and his wife riding camels in the desert, but the location where they're riding camels is in Antarctica. Even stranger, after this camel photo, there's a diving photo, but the shooting location is at the Chrysler Building in New York, USA. Since the Simpsons had accurately predicted the future many times before, some people started to worry. Could this be the future seen after the polar ice caps melt? But strangely, according to investigations, the Simpson prophecy refers not to the future after the greenhouse effect, but to the world after a geomagnetic pole. Because in this photo, Antarctica has turned into a desert. And on Earth, deserts usually only appear in places with lower latitude. But how could this be? Isn't Antarctica still peaceful? How could it change position? However, just when everyone thought the geomagnetic pole reversal in the Simpson prophecy was unlikely to come true, NASA released another document showing that the Earth's magnetic field is indeed moving. This has caused intense discussion among foreign netizens. Could this be the geomagnetic pole reversal that the Simpson family predicted? Because recently, places around the world have frequently reported strange incidents, making people suspect that the geomagnetic pole reversal might have begun. I wonder if you've heard that some animals can sense signals that humans cannot detect. In 2020, a very strange video suddenly appeared online. The owner of this video, Mako Toby, said, "A few days ago, she and her husband took advantage of the beautiful weather to go for a walk with their 3 Vizsla dogs. Originally, these 3 dogs were running very excitedly, but strangely, when they reached a flat field, all 3 dogs suddenly froze in place. Moreover, this freezing lasted for more than 3 minutes. At that moment, Mac immediately took out her camera and recorded this moment. Legs and tails Aaron. Not only that, recently in Inner Mongolia, people recorded a scene of a flock of sheep naturally forming a circle and continuously running around. Moreover, this strange behavior lasted for more than 10 days. It's as if they were receiving some mysterious command. Some experts stated that according to their knowledge, there is indeed a type of bacteria that can cause sheep to continuously circle. But usually, sheep infected with this disease will die within a day or 2. However, the sheep in the video are still alive and healthy to this day. Therefore, experts ultimately couldn't explain why the sheep kept circling. However, compared to the videos above, the following scene is even more noteworthy. On February 7, 2022, something incredibly unbelievable happened in Timon, northern Mexico. It was seen that a flock of birds, which were originally flying in the sky, suddenly plunged to the ground like a tsunami crashing down. That's as if they didn't. Undoubtedly, after this scene was reported by the media, everyone was shocked. Some media even exclaimed, "What on earth was going on?" At that time, many experts came forward to express their opinion.
Some believed that the birds in the video might have plunged to the ground suddenly to avoid predators. But strangely, among the many responses, we found that some experts believed
that the reason some birds unusually crash to the ground might be due to sudden changes in the electromagnetic field. According to Dr. Henrik Morrison from the University of Oldenburg, Germany,
birds have a special substance in their eyes that allows them to see the Earth's magnetic field during flight and use it to determine which direction to fly. This is similar to us using navigation while driving.
But the question is, why would birds with biological navigation capabilities suddenly crash into?
Could it be that the Earth's magnetic field suddenly changed at that time?
And there's a reason for this perspective, because in recent years, there have been continuous discoveries of animals suddenly losing their way in the natural world. For example, on October 7, 2020, on Saltan Island, 230 pilot whales were unexpectedly found stranded. A few days later, it was discovered that on Pin Island, south of Saltan Island, 245 pilot whales were stranded. Although there are many reasons for whale strandings, similar to the bird incident in Mexico.
One of those reasons is that the whales got lost, which seems almost impossible.
Because whales are also species capable of sensing the geomagnetic.
But strangely, their navigation now frequently seems to have errors.
This has led some experts to consider whether the continuous inaccuracies in animal navigation,
or if our Earth's magnetic field is indeed undergoing changes. And if we want to uncover all the mysteries behind this issue, we need to go back 40 years in time. That year, a geologist noticed that something seemed wrong with the Earth.
Do you know that the Earth has two North Poles? One is located right at the northern center of the Earth, called the geographic North. This is the northernmost point on Earth's axis of rotation, and its position never changes.
The other is the magnetic North Pole. This is where the compass points, and the magnetic North Pole changes every year.
This is very normal because the Earth's magnetic field is believed to come from the flow and convection of molten material in the mantle.
Therefore, its position differs each year, and our civilization has achieved its current success, partly due to our Earth having a magnetic field.
Over a very long period, the Earth's magnetic field has acted like a shield, protecting the Earth from cosmic radiation and solar radiation damage. As magnetic field were to disappear one day, solar radiation would directly strike the Earth. Not only that, after losing the protection of the magnetic field, satellites in orbit would immediately suffer damage from solar energetic particles, making it impossible for satellites to continue normal operation, ultimately leading to humans being unable to use communication products anymore. Even GPS would become unusable. Airplanes in flight would lose their eyes, only able to fly blindly. The accident rate would increase significantly. But at this point, what movies predict we should worry about most is not navigation issues due to intense solar radiation, which would also cause the circuits of electronic,
finally leading to airplanes crashing. So, just don't fly then.
Expert Blash indicated that without the protection of the magnetic field, the circuits of all electronic products would explode.
T-Trade. Humans would then experience life without electricity But all of this won't happen, right?
Unfortunately, it must be said that this indeed has the possibility.
There are even scholars who suggest that the Earth's magnetic field has already shown abnormal signs. One night in 1962, in the CIA office building in Virginia, USA, geologist John Thomas was still working overtime overnight.
It turned out that just a few days before, Thomas had received the annual magnetic pole. In this report, John Thomas noticed that the operational trajectory of the magnetic North Pole had been moving northward since 1831. Although the Earth's magnetic field movement is a normal phenomenon, over the years it has always moved in different directions within a fixed range. But now, the magnetic North Pole suddenly started moving consistently in the same direction.
And this is a bit strange. Could this be the prelude to a geomagnetic pole reversal?
Because the so-called geomagnetic pole reversal is the process where the Earth's magnetic north and south, and according to experts, during the geomagnetic pole reversal process, the Earth's magnetic field will weaken by over 90%, leading to the events just mentioned. Therefore, upon discovering the abnormal data, Thomas inadvertently became worried. Because if it continues in the direction the magnetic North Pole is currently moving, it might indeed head towards the South Pole, but further calculations are needed.
So, Thomas immediately used a computer to make predictions. And soon after,
he saw data that seemed like doomsday.
Adam and Eve.
while detailing all the events the Earth would experience after a geomagnetic pole reversal. However, strangely, shortly after the book's release, it was unexpectedly banned and confiscated by the CIA without warning, and Thomas was even expelled. Until 2013 that the book. And this unbanned version had 227 more pages than the originally published book, making people inevitably suspicious. As book, he revealed some information that people shouldn't. From this suspicious question, we began to search more deeply. However, what astonished us was the extremely severe consequences after the geomagnetic reversal. Some experts even suspect that the Great Flood mentioned worldwide might be a phenomenon during the geomagnetic reversal process. Imagine, if one day you're deep in a good sleep and suddenly awakened by a strange low-frequency sound. Feeling confused, you look out the window and see the seawater rapidly receding. Realizing the situation is unstable, you immediately get up to prepare to leave home. But it's too late, as the seawater rises like a mountain and crashes onto the land. Yet by this time, the architectural structures on the ground have because before the tsunami hit, a hurricane with speeds of thousands of kilometers per hour had uprooted the city's buildings. Many people might think the scene just described only appears in movies. But this is truly the scene after the geomagnetic reversal occurs, as described in the book. Notably, to date, the scientific community has confirmed that Earth's magnetic field will definitely reverse. According to the latest research from NASA, scientists discovered in ancient geological layers. Over the past 83 million years, Earth's magnetic field has reversed and if extending the time to 1.6 billion years, evidence of over several hundred geomagnetic reversals would be found. As calculations, Earth. However, the last reversal occurred 780,000 years ago, meaning the geomagnetic reversal should have happened long ago. Not only that, according to the latest 2020 data, the geographic North Pole has left Canada and is moving towards Siberia. Moreover, the moving speed is increasingly fast. Some experts have even found that Earth's magnetic field has begun to weaken. Especially, a weakening phenomenon in the South Atlantic is most evident. And this is also one of the phenomena occurring during the geomagnetic reversal process. Without a doubt, after these documents continuously appeared, more and more scientists believe that Earth's magnetic field has truly begun to reverse. So the question is, if Earth's magnetic field really reverses, will Earth truly experience the situation as Thomas described? Reading this, surely some of you feel worried, right? The good news is, although Thomas believes the geomagnetic reversal will bring a terrifying disaster, the mainstream scientific view currently does not believe that the geomagnetic reversal directly causes the apocalypse. However, they agree that the geomagnetic reversal will definitely cause some damage to Earth. Because during the reversal process, Earth's magnetic field will significantly weaken. Next, humans might not be able to live a life of sunbathing outdoors, or even have days without electricity. And this is why we continuously measure and monitor Earth's magnetic field. So the question is, if the geomagnetic reversal is certain to occur, when will it happen? Unfortunately, on this point, mainstream scholars cannot be certain because However, Thomas disagrees with the mainstream academic view. He even directly wrote in the book that, within the next 7 to 200 years, it's highly likely the geomagnetic reversal will occur. Counting from the book's publication date, Thomas believes the reversal time could be around 1970 to 2163. After that, the North Pole and eastern India will move to the Arctic, while the original Antarctica will reach the equator, meaning Antarctica could truly turn into a desert. Wait, isn't this the scene described in the Simpsons series? This is truly astonishing. But what's even more astonishing is that during our investigation, we discovered another document showing, long before the public discovered signs of geomagnetic reversal, the US might have already possessed this information. The world in danger. The author of this book is named Ken Wei. In the book, Ken reveals that in 1947, his father Maynard Wei was sent to the Arctic by the United States. The purpose was to assess the Soviet threat in the Arctic.
However, during this mission, Maynard noticed abnormal signals in the Arctic's magnetic field,
indicating that a geomagnetic reversal might be imminent. At that time, the Pentagon immediately convened many experts for a meeting.
During the meeting, Cohn confirmed this matter.
It's just that afterward, the Pentagon ordered this information to be kept from public disclosure.
Until Maynard retired, his son wanted to publish a book to make the matter public. Besides this book, we also discovered a book published in 2018.
Containing hidden knowledge. The book's author, Mark Elkins, also mentions that the US seemed to have known early about the serious harm that geomagnetic reversal would cause. And this is also the reason why after 1950, the US continuously built underground bases.
Because they knew that once geomagnetic reversal occurs, the Great Flood would come in an instant.
Most importantly, the book also says the cause leading to geomagnetic reversal is the return of Nibiru. According to Mark, the reason Earth's magnetic field reverses multiple times is due to a massive celestial body approaching Earth with a fixed cycle. When it comes close, the gravitational force of the celestial body will disturb Earth's magnetic field, causing geomagnetic. In fact, previously some scientists had discovered that there seems to be an unidentified ninth planet in the solar system.
Mark believes that this planet might be the true cause of geomagnetic reversal. Mark writes that when the planet approaches, its gravitational force could cause Earth's crust to shift. During this process, Earth's crust and oceans will resonate, emitting a low-frequency sound.
This is somewhat similar to the strange sounds some people hear before an earthquake. Additionally, Mark also believes that once the planet gets close enough, its gravitational force will quickly slow Earth's rotation speed.
It might even bring Earth's rotation speed close to zero. And this is no joke, because according to experts,
Earth's normal rotation speed is 1,770 kilometers per hour. And Earth's normal rotation speed is 1,770 kilometers per hour. Because according to experts, Earth's normal rotation speed is 1,770 kilometers per hour. And once Earth's rotation speed decreases rapidly, people on the surface would very likely be run off.
Not only that, when Earth stops rotating, the speed of the atmosphere doesn't change.
So a hurricane with a speed of 1,100 miles per hour would sweep away everything on land. Imagine, seawater would also rush onto land at high speed, submerging everything.
Could this be the cause of the Great Flood, and it comes in an instant? Because in the past,
some experts who disagreed that Earth had experienced a Great Flood argued that
the world would not experience a Great Flood that submerges everything.
But if Earth suddenly stops rotating due to other reasons, then the occurrence of the Great Flood seems to have a reasonable explanation. Of course, if Earth really stops rotating completely,
daytime would last up to 6 months, and nighttime would also last the next 6 months.
At the end of the book, Mark says, if unfortunately one day Earth's magnetic field really reverses,
he advises people to move to high places as soon as possible.
But remember not to gather in crowded cities, stay away from places like riverbanks and coastlines. The best choice is to go to mountains 365 meters or more above sea level. Through this topic, we realize that being able to see sunlight every day and being able to walk on this land is already very fortunate. Anyway, if the Earth stops rotating, we might no longer have a magnetic field.
Without a magnetic field, Mars today might be the future image of Earth. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to catch the next videos. Or if you have time, you can watch more videos on this channel. Thank you for your interest and attention.
If the proof convinced you, subscribe and open the next case.